to DARQ Matters Show by Vernewell, Episode 2. My name is Malak Trabelsi Loeb, a founder and managing director of Vernewell Management Consultancies, space and deep tech focused Dubai-based consultancy firm. We are bringing you this talk show to shed light on the latest related discussions around DARQ, spread awareness and use collaboration, elaborate and interconnections between various ecosystems, and ignite creativity because DARQ matter. But let's find what DARQ is. By now you are familiar with what DARQ is, but it is an acronym for a combination of technologies: distributed ledger technology, artificial intelligence, extended reality, and quantum computing. And actually you will see me talk about quantum technologies in general because they matter also. We are all aware that these technologies are paving the way toward unprecedented breakthroughs and new possibilities for a wide range of industries and businesses, and also in relation to their social impact. In today's show, we will present why distributed ledgers technologies matter with our Vernewell's esteemed advisory board member, Antonio Lanotte. Antonio Lanotte is a distinguished professional as a chartered tax advisor in the field of international taxation and digital transformation, with extensive expertise in blockchain, artificial intelligence, and decentralized finance. Antonio's multidisciplinary expertise also includes environmental, social, and governance modeling, ESG modeling, green finance, and business development, transformation, planning, and strategies. Welcome to the show, Antonio, and thank you for being here. My first question for you, Antonio, is why distributed ledger technology matter?
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Malak, for hosting me and actually for giving me time for this wonderful and exciting conversation. It's important before we even start actually to have a brief description of myself to you and your audience, of course. My name is Antonio Lanotte. I'm a professional tax advisor and senior legal author, and I'm a proud member and delegate of the Tax Technology Committee within the European Fiscal Confederation in Brussels, but also proudly sitting within the board of advisors for the Vernewell Management Consulting Group in Dubai. So back to your question, why DLTs, why digital ledger technology matters, why DARQ matters? Well, they actually extremely matters. And the reason for that is actually due to the meaning of DARQ, of digital ledger technology. DARQ stands for digital ledger technology, artificial intelligence, extended reality, and quantum technologies. All this technology are yet to stay and to disrupt the nearest future. And the reason for highlighting the strategic importance of DLT is the fact that business brand information, the faster it is received, the more accurate it is, the better. So that's why it's important actually to start digging in this kind of technologies nowadays. One of the most important DLTs for sure blockchain, which is indeed information tool because it provides immediate, shared, and completely transparent information stored on a immutable ledger. A blockchain network therefore can track orders, payments, invoices, accounts, production processes, and much more. And because of the validating nodes, the members within the blockchain can actually see all the transaction end to end. They can increase confidence and open up for efficiency, new efficiency, and for sure for business opportunities. Now, blockchain and DLTs in particular, actually, together with some other features, very important features like NFTs, virtual digital currency, of course, so cryptocurrency, artificial intelligence, and smart contracts, they can actually enable a fusion between the real and the virtual world, which is, in other words, a digital ecosystem, or another word for Web3. Now, on the top of Web3, there is a DeFi, and DeFi stands for decentralized finance, which is setting the stage for the next financial revolution. In simple terms, it refers to financial services provided by computer algorithms, because they'll be actually arranged by DLTs, in particular blockchain. So they will actually involve any banks or middlemen And in this way, DLT will actually, the DeFi will actually cover mainly all the financial activities which can be recurring those to borrowing and lending activities. In other words, DeFi and DLTs, of course, has the potential to transform well-established financial institutions and bring a lower cost, faster execution of transaction, improved transparency, and of course, other benefits. To sum up, to recap actually to your question, the technology, in particular DLT, matters a lot because the technology is therefore ready to allow faster and more cost-effective processing of financial transactions. This is done through the centralized distributed ledger, which allows to its user autonomy and security.
Thank you, Antonio, for your insights. It's always a pleasure to hear what you have to say about distributed ledger technology, blockchain, cryptocurrency. Always insightful. And my next question is, how do distributed ledger technology change the world?
As we mentioned earlier, that DLT is actually a digital system for recording the transaction of assets, in which all the transactions and the details are actually recorded in multiple places at the same time. Unlike traditional database, DLT have no central data or store of data, of course. In other words, DLT refers specifically to those technological infrastructure and protocols that allow simultaneous access, validation, and updating of records that characterize those distributed ledger. It works on computer in a kind of peer-to-peer fashion, and it uses cryptography, especially in order to allow actually those keys to allow member users to authorize users, especially in the case of a private or permissioned blockchain. DLT can be applied to multiple uses. We got some example for that, and actually in order to reply to your question. What about to track and trace the provenance of safer food? This is very important. It's one of the main flagship projects from the European Commission, which is called From Farm to Fork. So that will enable actually members by using blockchain to track and trace the healthy food, the safer food actually on the table. But blockchain can actually be applied for other uses like shipping log, of course, the shipping sector, the international payment, insurance, supply chain management, and on top of that, supply chain finance. We already mentioned DeFi, voting, media, healthcare. Media is actually investing a lot of money in order to filter fake news or avoiding fake news, or even to protect intellectual property. Real estate are also very important in this kind of historical period. Energy. Blockchain technology could be used to execute the energy supply transaction, but further provide the basis for mentoring, billing, and clearing processing. Also, blockchain can be used very importantly for taxes. Blockchain tech could make the cumbersome process of filing taxes because they're very prone to human errors. And that's why we need to introduce the terminology of smart contracts. Smart contract is a pre-written digital code that in a condition if then something, then we'll actually execute kind of desired output in that case. So the future of DLT is bright. The future of blockchain technology is brighter, even brighter, because it has the potential to make a revolution within the supply chain in order to lead the supply chain, a normal supply chain, a digital supply chain, and so the transaction as well, and the taxation within the digital supply chain. Because many processes within the taxation within the supply chain are actually characterized by they characterize the tax system nowadays. So we can assume that the twin green and digital transformation is nowadays a key priority, not just for Europe, but for everyone actually. So.
Thank you very much for your insights. and your very clear answer. Now I would move to the next question. What are their future promises to humanity? It's a very important question, and I thought about it so many times. And actually, when it comes to DARQ in general, is even more difficult to reply to, because the way how these technologies combined is moving forward is going to be very, very, very out of our predictability, because we don't know how far they will take the existing capabilities to the next step. So what do you think about that?
Thank you for the question, because this is a very important question. Of course, you cannot have just one answer to these questions, but let's start from what we said earlier. The twin, green, and digital transformation is a key priority for Europe, and not just for Europe. And because of the historical moment, actually, we're facing it too. In order to realize this green potential, digital technologies such as DLTs and artificial intelligence need to have investment and legislation that encourage them to flourish. So this is key. This is very important, actually, for Europe. Therefore, needs to step up in its digitalization efforts, such as boosting connectivity and increasing funding for research and development. For this to happen, Europe must look at digital and climate action together rather than separate policy areas. Most of innovation companies and multinational enterprises actually, they're also moving the value of the data across blockchain networks. For example, we can use carbon credits, which is the process of tokenization. And that means that actually a digital token within a blockchain can actually be representing an intangible or tangible asset or a portion of it. The carbon credit can be an extremely important tool for exchanging information for the climate change, because everything is recorded on distributed ledger in a decentralized way. And so that will increase trust and transparency between counterparts. That will lift the responsibility from within the member of the public or permission of blockchain, and will allow the digital the entire ecosystem actually to focus on its respective business and obligation. This will also be done actually by the massive use of smart contracts. To give you some example, the real-time accounting, for example, blockchain will actually reduce, will keep the ledger and will use actually the time for reconciling ledgers. Furthermore, companies which will actually provide access to the audit company in order to perform those activities. But also, blockchain can be used for payroll taxation, for payroll tax activities, because it actually will allow employees to be paid. Consequently, all the deduction and contribution will be visible on the blockchain, transparent and immutable, of course. But also, all the complexity of intercompany transactions, especially in the transfer price within multinational enterprises, the massive use of blockchain, especially for such a consortium within multinational enterprises, will allow to simplify and monitoring actually the flow of goods and services, of course. Agreements will be written in self-executing smart contracts. All the movements will be sealed and, of course, be trapped within a smart contract. And all the information will be visible, transparent, and immutable within the blockchain. Last but not least, in a VAT scenario, for sure, a blockchain technology will be very important, massively important, because the customer will pay the invoices to the supplier. At the same time, the smart contract within the blockchain will actually introduce, use the code to the digital code, which is pre-written in order to calculate the taxation, will pre-populate, in that case, the tax return, and will send a taxation payment directly to the tax authorities. This is enormous. This is a revolution. And so that many others actually important benefits for the use of blockchain, and in order to kind of make even a life of citizen and of course people more reliable and more actually livable in a way. Because in the case of using a blockchain for the VAT system, this will for sure reduce the administrative burdens for companies. That will reduce fraud. That will actually populate tax returns directly to tax authorities. That will reduce risk of fraud and mistakes. And then we actually go inside the company records in order to keep reporting in real time. So that's the kind of revolution that DLTs and in particular blockchain will make.
My next question is, what challenges do these technologies create, and how Vernewell team could transform these challenges into a competitive edge, of course, when it comes to our advisory and what we are bringing to the client?
So it's a very important question. But I will take some time actually to answer to this question. Let's say first, the most recurring challenges for the implementation of this technology are three in particular. And these are the governance, of course, the blockchain, because we need to, kind of divide it within decentralized. So that's the kind of comparison between DeFi, decentralized finance, and centralized finance, and decentralized finance. So there's also a kind of a debate on decentralization or centralization of some kind of technology. I'm more for decentralized, actually, decentralization of and for an open up actually public ledger. The other challenge is about the scaling, and the scaling stands for the process of actually the speed of the process for this kind of the transactional system. Let's put some data that on average now Visa can actually transact and can make transaction for about 24,000 transactions per second. Within this week, there's the announcement actually, it is actually ongoing, the merge, the so-called merge of Ethereum blockchain, which means that actually they're going to shift from proof of work blockchain to proof of stake blockchain. That will increase actually the scaling, the speed of processing of the blockchain. And it is said that the average transaction process of Ethereum within the future will be up to 100,000 K of transaction per second, compared to the 24,000 K of Visa. So it's enormous. It's a revolution. It's a big, huge, actually, distance between these two data. One of the main challenges for sure the privacy, and that's why most of the company actually are interested in keeping the data secret, and that's why they kind of refer more to private and permissionless blockchain instead of public and open, actually permissionless blockchain. But because we're facing the challenges, and our challenges, of course, they're out in the web. We also have rooms for improvements for sure, but also we have rooms for business opportunities, very enormous business opportunities. And Vernewell, in this case, actually, with its expertise, with its people, because Vernewell is made of brilliant, actually, consultants they're very expert in their fields. They can support you to kind of override this kind of challenges, face to this kind of challenge, understand the problem, and give you the solution in order to be together within this kind of journey, which we may enact to the best solution possible in order for you to empower your business within the Web3, within the digital ecosystem. That's what Vernewell can do the most.
Thank you very much, Antonio, for your insights and for sharing with us very important information and sharing your expertise in this talk. I would add a very important point to your insights. There is a common misconception that many people have, thinking that distributed ledger technology is a blockchain. Blockchain technology and distributed ledger technology are frequently confused. It's understandable why a lot of people would think that way. But let's dive under the surface and uncover the meaning behind these technologies. In fact, along with the emergence of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, blockchain has been in the news almost every day. Distributed ledgers, however, have not gotten much attention. They're not mainstream. When the terms blockchain and distributed ledger technology are used together, many people are left with more doubts than answers. Before you even add Bitcoin to the equation, the confusion is already there. The main distinction to keep in mind is that distributed ledgers come in many varieties. Blockchain is only one of them. Distributed ledgers do not require a chain of blocks, despite the fact that blockchain is a collection of them. Distributed ledgers also provide greater scalability opportunities and do not require proof of work. The attractiveness of distributed ledger technology is that it eliminates the need for an intermediary party. We talked about it in one of our highlights. And do not confuse between the highlights and the DARQ Matters Show, but they are connected. A distributed ledger does not necessarily require to contain a data structure in blocks. Unlike blockchain, a distributed ledger is essentially a sort of database that is dispersed among several locations, communities, or users. Distributed ledger first sounds just like a blockchain, which is probably how you see one, but keep in mind that not all distributed ledgers are blockchains. All blockchains are distributed ledgers. Combining distributed ledger technologies with artificial intelligence, extended reality, and quantum computing would create unprecedented opportunities for businesses, boost the economy, and change lives. However, they would be challenging and may be addressed from a social, legal, ethical, security perspectives, and the list would go on. And that will be addressed in future episodes. And Vernewell is here to help businesses adapt to the change and embrace new technologies in order to prosper while managing the risk and raising awareness on their potentials as well as their threats in order to overcome them and transform those challenges into competitive edge. DARQ matters because they have the potential to alter capabilities around security, personalized experiences, and sophisticated problem solving. And it will be intriguing to address these matters in coming episodes of DARQ Matters. Until the next episode, may the dark be with you. Goodbye.